Hi everyone, if you're like me and you have accumulated a bunch of brushes over the years, you need a place to store them. I've got brushes all over my desk in cups, but some of them I just keep on going to, and some of them I rarely use, so they become very dusty. So I decided that I wanted to keep them protected and organized, and I started using an art bin box, which is great, but it's quite expensive. So I wanted to figure out how I could make those by myself. And if you look at an art bin, it's pretty easy. It's a plastic box with foam and slots in them. For the very first one that I made, I used a long pencil case. And because the lid is pretty deep, just as deep as the case itself, I decided to put some foam on both sides, both in the lid and in the case itself. I cut it to fit. Be careful because it's not quite square. So you have one side that's a little skinnier than the other. So make sure it fits the way you want it to fit. Then with a glue gun, I just basically glued it onto the case itself. It's very simple, very quick. I glued 2 pieces per sides. That way I can use either a long brush or 2 small brushes, and you'll see once I start making the slots and start fitting the brushes. So for the bottom left, you'll see that I just had 2 pieces of foam left, and I glued those 2 next to each other because I can use the separation of the 2 as one of the slots. Now with an X-Acto knife, just cut your first slot and go pretty deep, but not all the way through. I would say about 3/4 all the way. Make sure your knife cuts well, that it's sharp. When you cut your first one, go to the other piece of foam and make sure that your slots are actually lined up. Because if you want to use a long brush, you want to make sure that it fits in both of them. Now I kind of eyeballed it. You can of course measure it and mark your foam if you want to with a ruler and some paint or something. And then just try to fit your brush to see how it goes, to see if it's deep enough or if you need to cut it a little bit more. So here you see that I was able to put 2 different brushes in the same area. And on the left side I've got all my long brushes, and the right side I've got all my short brushes. And I do have a lot more short handles than long handles, so I think it's cool that you can actually put a lot of brushes in a small box like this, and they stay in place really well. I shook it, it didn't budge at all, and so it's a very secure way to keep your brushes nice and away from the dust. I even used some masking tape and a marker to actually label those boxes and say what kind of brushes I had in which container. I also used document boxes, and this time I could not put the brushes in the lid, but I could put a bunch of them in the box itself, which is great. And those boxes actually pile up. So I hope this was helpful and that it gives you an idea on how to organize your brushes. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And thank you all for stopping by. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye bye.